All right, folks, we are very, very happy to be back with you yet another Thursday, round 4, and this is the one that all of the drivers picked. Back in the booth tonight, we are doing another race here with Tyler Crawford. Tyler, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, John. How are you?
Man, I am fantastic. Really happy to be back in the booth, calling yet another fantastic USRA race. We were talking just a little bit before about some of the points. We'll get into that a little bit later. But man, give us kind of a rundown of what we seen last week. I know I hopped on and watched some of it, but looked like another great performance there in that pro division from Alex bringing home the checkered flag.
Yeah, that's right. Alex started up front early, and honestly, he drove his own race out front the whole time. Never really made any serious mistakes. We talked to him after the race in the interview, and he said he killed his relative, so he couldn't even see the time gap to the cars behind. And I think that really helped him just focus in and do his own thing.
Well, I will tell you his own thing he did do, picking up the win. Now, we are going to tell everybody about where we stand here. 4 races. This will be the 4th race here on where we're at in points. In that pro division, Odell is going to be your leader in points. He has about a 24-point lead on Alex. That was last week's winner. And then top 3 is going to be Ben Lawrence. In your pro sport division, Grayson is going to be your points leader in that pro sport. And Tyler, he is the only person, the only driver outside of this pro division to pick up an overall win.
Right, that's right. Back at Zandvoort, with the chaos in the pro division, Grayson was able to sneak through some of that and pull away here with the win.
Yeah, and it does look like he has a pretty healthy lead, about 136 points there on John Houston. And then you've got Wade Moskowitz, which to me, Tyler, seems like one of those drivers this season that is not really having breakout performances and breakout speed, but we have seen him up near the top of this division, this pro sport division, all throughout these. He's had some bad luck, but it seems like every race he's showing a ton of speed this year.
Yeah, he really has. Compared to last season, he's definitely focused in more and honed in on the consistency. The speed, like you said, nothing crazy. He's not blowing purple sectors every lap, but the consistency is right, like you mentioned, got him right there in the hunt with third in points.
Yeah, and then in that AM division, you've got Scott. Scott already with 2 wins on the season out of the 3 races. And Chris Schultz is going to be in second position. Roy is going to round out your top 3. So those are your 3 points leaders in each one of the divisions. But we got a little bit more work to do tonight, as it looks like we are starting to wrap up this qualifying. Now, again, like we talked about before, this is the driver choice. And Tyler, they have chosen to bring these cars out here to Spa and to do it in the dark.
That they have, and I'm when I saw the pool, I was not surprised that Spa was going to be the standout. I believe they had um, Silverstone, the Nürburgring GP track, Monza, Spa, and Imola, and it really came down to Spa and Imola. There were a couple people that jumped ship at the last minute, and it was really close. It was 15 to 14 for Spa. Regardless of what track got chosen, this was planned to be a night race, which always throws a little bit of a mix-up, especially on the opening laps.
Yeah, and you really have a good point. And there's one other thing I want to talk to you about as a driver. In these GT3 cars, it's very odd with Spa, I think, because you see how tight some of these are, and in about 20 seconds we're going to pull up where everybody has qualified. But times are extremely tight. You see Odell is going to be your overall pole sitter here in that pro division at a 814, a 15.814. But Alex right behind, I mean, just a little over a tenth off. Lawrence is right there as well. Hickman right there. So when you look at some of these, even when you look at the AM division, Patrick Rich putting up a 16.5. I mean, time's extremely tight here, Tyler, but that doesn't tell the whole story, right? How important is going to be getting draft and working these straightaways going to be for these drivers tonight?
The long straightaways here at Spa are really important, especially the draft. It's going to be real easy to lose that on the coming through Eau Rouge the first time. And if they don't tuck in and keep it down the straightaway, you know, it's imperative to hold the draft, especially going down into that next corner. You can show the nose, maybe try to unsettle the car in front to make a pass there in the little S.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be interesting, and we will walk through that as we go throughout this race. We're actually going to jump on board with a couple of these drivers, take some laps around. We'll see how all of this goes. But now let's talk about the qualifying results here. Like we talked about before, Patrick Rich in this division, right here in the AM division, is going to be your overall pole sitter. Then you got Rory Carson, Zach Garrison, Chris is going to be in fifth, Dakota Howard in sixth, Mulberry right there in seventh, and then Rodriguez is going to round out that AM division. Now we're going to go over to the pro division. You've got Odell, Behary, Lawrence, Hickman, Francis Jr., and Perchowski. That's going to round out your 6 drivers in that pro division. One more here, Tyler, with that pro sport. We've got Houston putting in a very nice qualifying effort. Moskowitz is going to be in second. Grayson is going to be in third. Kurt in fourth. And then Cole is going to round out your top 5. All right, so we're going to pop this tower back up. So we've got the qualifying done. Let's see if we can take a look at our schedule real quick, as these drivers are going to start rolling here on the track. Just want to see, you've got your driver's choice, but next week, going to the famous Coda track. So, Tyler, we can see a lot of fireworks at that track.
Oh, we certainly can. There are tons of passing opportunities there, especially through the S complex there just off the start. As long as, and as well, there's a couple long straights there that I think drafting is going to be important to try to push the front end in on the inside going down in the corners.
Yeah, and, you know, a couple of things that we've got to look out for, as you can see all of these drivers flashing their headlights, they're getting ready to go, is, you know, what's going to happen in the draft. Man, do not get off tracks or get spun. If you spin at this track, it's just going to be the death. And we've seen that. We've actually seen that with Hickman over last season, and really even early on in this season. Just seems like a driver with a lot of pace always seems to get bit by some little incident that puts him just fighting from the back all race long.
Yeah, he does have a ton of pace. As we saw last week, he was out front early, and a small mistake spun him, and that was all she wrote. You know, he's back in the back trying to fight his way back forward again. Be interesting to see if he can curb that this week and actually hold it together as we get through the first half of this race.
Yeah, and it does look like Odell is going to bring them down. And Tyler, he's been very dominant this season too. Him and Alex have really just dominated to the front of this field so far. Now you can see that pace car is going to pull off. So here we go, folks. We are going to give you about 65 minutes of fantastic action here at Spa. The drivers chose it. It's at night. We're ready to go. And that green flag is now in the air as they charge down in here to turn 1. Oh, it is tight, Tyler. As you can see now, everybody shifted. We do have a driver around. That is Chris Schultz. Oh, we've got a wreck here on the front stretch. That's going to catch a couple more drivers. No caution.
First corner here at Spa is very prominent for what we just witnessed right there.
Yeah, you called it early, right? As now we can see that we've got drivers, that Perchowski there without a front clip and no headlights. Let's go back and see if we can take a look at what happened. We're going to be right there with Schultz.
The pros here out front, definitely tight, and they kept it nice and tidy around the inside there. But as we got back into pro sport in the AM division here, chaos started to ensue as we tried to push. It looks like 4, even 5 wide there into T1.
Yeah, we've got the driver really off below that strip, and it does look like, Tyler, maybe just getting back on the throttle there for Chris is what created that. But we're going to keep rolling because now we've got some drivers up here that got into it, and that might be Grayson. Let's see, we're going to hop on board.
And Perchowski got into it there. They were tangled, and it looks like Grayson might have spun across the front of Perchowski.
Yeah, it does look like that. I cannot get back to him, but man, just like you called it, it can just be chaos in turn 1. That is exactly what happened. We're going to get back live here and see if we can hop up to right now. It looks like your leader, Tyler, already out to 4.5 seconds. So what was a tight race Now 4.5 seconds between first and second.
Yeah, I'm worried for the rest of the pro division at this point if Alex is already out to a 4.5 second lead, especially after the dominant performance he put on last week.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Now we're back here with Patrick Rich. He is really closing in on the back of Ernie Francis Jr. here. Now, Rich is leading your AM division, folks. If you look at your time and tower on the left, where we are highlighted green is the driver that we are on and watching. Looks like that might have died down a little bit, but what is heating up now is going to be your battle for third, as now Lawrence under attack by Francis. Man, Ben got a great drive off of that last turn. Looks like that Lambo does really good down the straightaways, but he has fallen back to Rich again. Now Rich taking a look on the right side here of Francis.
Yeah, with the craziness of the first turn there, I'm a little surprised to see an AM driver all the way up to the back of the pro division. But last season in season 1, we saw that several times with Aikman Pollard. So
we might have a caution out here on the track. I do not show a yellow, but it does look like that pace car is out. It looks like Remy out there in chat saying that Hickman got spun in turn 1. So, man, so while we are under caution here, let's see if we can go back and take a look. And let's see if we can. We're going to stay with Hickman. And this is turn 1, lap 1. And there is Hickman going wide. Oh, it was Hickman.
Yeah, it was Hickman. He got across the front of Rich and then right across the front of Prochowski too, all in one motion.
Yeah, it looks like they just come out of that turn 3 wide. Everything looks good. It just looks like Hickman might have come down a little too early.
Yeah, he drifted a little to the right. At least in this camera, it looks like he's drifting to the right and just doesn't know that Rich is there, and they make the contact and around he goes.
Man, it looks like he's going to be able to save it. Now, Jeff is going to get the worst of that. It just knocks, it looks like it knocks the front bumper completely off of Jeff's car. Now, Hickman is right here in the middle of the track, and let's see if everybody can dodge it. Wow, it gets tight. There is some damage, left front damage there, as it looks like he did get clipped on the way by, but man, Prochowski got the worst of that.
Yeah, he did. It was impressive there to see the cars behind. Looks like Moskowitz swerved to the left and got on the grass to avoid that, and someone dove down by the wall to miss him too. Good on those guys for keeping out of trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody that's back behind Alex, they really love to see the caution come out, as this 83 is now going to have to check up, get back to the rest of the field, and that's back to Odell and Lawrence and Francis. And then in the AM division, you have Rich, Rory, and then you've got Carson. Those are going to be your top 3 in that pro sport. Moskowitz now is going to be your leader. Kurt is going to be in second, with Cole right there in third.
Yeah, you said it, John. These guys are definitely happy to see a caution pull back up here on the back of Alex. Be interesting to see what happens here on the restart when we come around and go green eventually, if we can hold some composure around the first corner in Eau Rouge and Radeon to at least get another clean start here.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point, and I'm going to be interested to see. Prochowski's going to have to come in, and he is going to have to get a fast repair there, because that car is absolutely broken. But Tyler, are we close, or do we need another 5 minutes to be in that window where all of these drivers can duck down, get some fuel, and make it to the end?
Actually, good point, John. For the second season here for USRA, we have implemented a rule that within the first 15 minutes of the race, you cannot take tires or gas, fast repair only. So strategy there is not going to play out because of rules. So he's only going to be able to come down and take that fast repair.
So there you go. All of these drivers are going to have to make another pit stop. So you're probably going to see the majority of the drivers stay out on the track. Those that have damage, you're going to have, obviously you can see now that Prochowski is going to come down pit road. I mean, that right front tire, and he doesn't have any headlights here either, Tyler. So I would imagine he is not going to be the only one, but it looks like now he's going to be the only taker. There is another driver coming down, and that's going to be John Houston.
Yeah, the good part with Spa being such a long track, though, is these guys are going to be able to get their fast repair back out of the pits and be easily on the back of the field by the time we go back green.
Yeah, I did not see Houston getting tangled up in that, but it does look like, and you can see that fast repair now. Brand new Corvette for Jeff. He is going to be brand new, and then you've got, it looks like the same thing. It looks like Houston is going to take that fast repair too, so maybe a little bit of damage there that we did not see, and so everybody's going to be back out on the track, and it looks like the lights are out on this pace car, so we're going to reset this thing and do another shootout here. We're going to have about 53 minutes to go before the end of this thing.
Yeah, long pace lap here at Spa. That's for sure. I'm curious to see what we might have missed with Houston that required him to come down this early and take the fast repair.
Yeah, that is a very interesting. We did not see him get any damage, especially through that first turn, but he certainly needed to get that fast repair done. And, you know, now these drivers, you're not going to drive any different, I don't think, Tyler, just already using that fast repair. But you have to keep that in the back of your mind. You certainly want to get through this turn one clean. Everybody wants to kind of stay, you know, nip and tuck through turn one and then spread this thing out a little bit and get to racing.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to be a little more cautious starting behind the AM division. While we did see with qualifying the times were fairly close overall throughout the entire field, you know, these guys are going to have a slight advantage on the AM group, but they do need to pace themselves a little bit and try to not pick up any more damage having already used that repair.
Yeah, it is a really good point. They are going to have to battle their way back to the front. All the while, it looks like, you know, with Perchowski going to the back, you know, you're going to have Hickman. Let's see where Hickman is. Looks like he's going to be quite a ways in front. So really, Perchowski and Houston do not have a whole lot of drivers to race back there on the back. So just like you said, it's about being patient, picking these drivers off one at a time to get back to your division where you can race.
Yeah, doing it smart, I think, is the key there, John.
Absolutely.
Too crazy, and you're too crazy, and then you're going to put yourself in a world of trouble already using your fast repair.
Yeah, I will tell you, doing it smart is this driver right here, Alex. Again, out there leading, and you know, we talked about this a little bit earlier on before we even started broadcasting. Just how good of a car this driver has every single week, and that gentleman following him there, Odell, as well. We know the speed that Ben Lawrence has back in the BMW here this week. So is this the last week, Tyler, for them to make that final shift to the manufacturer they have to keep the rest of the season?
No, actually, this is the first week that they could have made the change. Ben prematurely jumped the gun last week and changed to the McLaren, and he had an end-of-line penalty that he had to take, and he had to start last week's race from the back. It looks like he decided to not stay with that McLaren, and he's gone back to the BMW.
Yeah, and it looks like we've got all different types of cars. If you just look right here in the top five, you've got BMWs, you got Vets. I see a Lamborghini there. We've got a Porsche there. So really all the manufacturers just kind of goes to, you know, how equal all of these GT3 cars are. And it really just kind of boils down to what you like, the feel of that car, the way the braking system works to make you as successful as you can be.
Yeah, it really does. Some of these cars, like you just mentioned, have different driving characteristics. As we come out of the final corner here, we're about to go back green. Let's see if we can get through the first corner clean this time, or if we're going to have more chaos.
We are single file, a little bit late jump, and it does look like chaos all the way back here already. There is 4 wide, and we're going to have one into the wall.
4 wide, yep, off into the wall. It looked like, was that Garrison?
Man, it was Dakota Howard. Let's go back and see. It looked like he just got clipped there.
Someone in front started to move left. It looked like he made a move left to avoid that and turned himself across the front of Moskowitz.
Oh my goodness, we got wrecks all over the track. John Houston shows that he has crashed. Let's go back and take a look at what happened This is probably going in. He might have just stopped here just to make sure that everything was going to be okay. Nope, he is going to loop it.
Cold tires early on the throttle, and around she goes.
Oh my goodness, and it does look like we might be under another caution here, as it looks like we have another driver that is going to show crash, and that is your leader.
Oh no, not Alex. Radeon.
Oh, we got another driver in the wall. I can't keep up with it all. I believe that's Zach Garrison. Let's see what happened. This is Zach here.
Talk about the commentator's curse, John. We just got done praising Alex for how well he drove last week, and then right into the wall.
Man, I will tell you, it looks like Michael Peak has went off track. He has come back on track. Angel Rodriguez, he's off track. All right, so we're going to have to take inventory here, Tyler, as we're going to go back live, because we have people now. How we're going to do this, we're just going to look and see who's down pit road. So you can tell Dakota Howard, he is down pit road. He is getting service. Michael Peak is getting service. And then Angel is getting service. Let's see. Alex looks like he has not went down pit road yet, but he doesn't have a rear spoiler on that car.
No, he does not. John, I'm almost curious if Dakota and Angel and the other pit road participants towed to the pits with how quickly they were there, since Alex hasn't even made it around to the pits yet.
Yeah, they are in a towing condition, so that's a great point on our timing tower. When you see that black square with the orange circle, that is a tow, so they're not black flagged. They are picking a tow there, but you can tell we're going to see when they come around, and it does look like as our leader Odell comes around. I just want to see the drivers that are going to hop down pit road and get some service done as we try to take inventory, Tyler. As I look back, I think we've got Alex crashed, Zach Garrison crashed, Dakota Howard crashed. Houston showed that he spun, but I think he's going to be all right. And then just everybody else that got damaged in that melee there going up the hill.
Yeah, that was pure chaos, to say the least. John, I don't think is too damaged. It did look like he just lost it there on his own coming out of T1 with a light tap to the wall, as we see Alex here getting the wing put back on that BMW.
Yeah, and it does look like he is getting some tires on that car as well. Zach Garrison, we saw him crash earlier. He is coming down pit road. That's going to be a fast repair for him as well. So
I'm sorry to cut you off there. I'm curious if with Alex taking tires there, I do believe, like I mentioned earlier, there's not supposed to be any service before 15 minutes other than fast repair.
Yeah, and it could just be one of those things. I'll tell you, I have sat in the seat of some of these cars where you had limited tire sets and forgot to take them off, and you put some tires on, and it's just a killer for you. And hopefully that didn't happen to him. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the admins tell us. But there is one thing for sure. He is back out on this track. He's going to catch back up. He does have a good, clean car now. But, man, it just looks like, Tyler, until they get a little heat in the tires, you know, these cars under these high-speed turns just seem to have no grip.
No, definitely not, especially with the colder track at nighttime conditions and these parade laps we keep taking. It's hard to keep the heat in them, to be honest with you. You know, I almost want to hop out of here and go get on race comms and tell these guys to keep it calm for at least half a lap so we can get some racing in.
Yeah, once you get some heat in the tires, they're going to handle a whole lot better. You know, and we've seen it look like three drivers getting loose going up that hill. And I do believe that's what happens to them. They just don't have enough grip in those tires, you know, trying to get a little bit of a lead, and that's what happens to you. But we're going to reset right now. So out on the track, you've got Odell that is now leading, Lawrence in second, and you got Francis Jr. right there in third. So those are the three front runners here on the track and in that pro division. And then you're going to have Patrick Rich in fourth, Mulberry, and then Kurt Basler's going to round out your top 6 drivers that are out here on track.
Very interesting that out of the top 6, we only have 1 Pro Sport driver and 2 AM drivers. That just goes to show how crazy the field is stacked up with these 2 starts and mass pileups, basically.
Yes, that's a really good point. I want to take a look at where Jeff Perchowski is. So we saw him have to go down. He is going to be 15th on the field right now. So he was able to pick up, through wrecks or passes, about 6 positions in about 2 turns there as we went yellow again. So we'll keep an eye on him as he tries to continue to move his way up. John Houston was another driver that come in when Jeff got service, but you saw him loop it in T1. So he is right behind Jeff there. So looks like those 2 drivers may be trying to be selective and try to be patient. But, man, we have got to get – it looks like every driver's going to come down pit road now.
Yeah, that's right, John. We just got past the 15-minute mark. It looks like these guys are going to try to hop in and get tires and fuel now and try to stretch this thing to the end.
Yeah, you certainly can't blame them as they get down pit road. That means these drivers are not going to have to pull in and get service again for the remainder of this race as they're going to try to reset. Oh, it looks like, is that Lawrence that slipped to his pit a little bit and had to back up, so he might lose a bit of time. And there you go. Ernie is going to get out in front of those drivers.
Boy, we're going to be going on to full fuel loads and cold tires yet again. I'm curious to see how this restart plays out.
I'm not certain, Tyler, if
don't
everybody took tires.
I don't think Ernie did. He was in and out of there pretty fast.
He was.
I think that might have been a fuel-only stop.
I don't believe Cole did. Cole is going to be your overall leader on the track right now.
He could win.
I don't think he did go in, but I do believe he was the driver that clipped that outside retaining wall going into T1. So he might have come down on that previous caution and got some service, but I don't think he has went in. So it looks like got a couple of drivers going around. It looks like they're going to try to get onto the tail end of the lead lap here.
I know one of those was Angel Rodriguez. I think the other one was Dakota Howard.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to get waved around that pace car. So right now, there's Cole. It looks like right there, Alex was able to get on and off of pit road really quickly. Zach Garrison, and that's a really good point, Tyler. They might not have taken tires just based on the fact they haven't run any laps on them yet.
Yeah, I mean, from a driver's perspective, it's really hard to say what I would have done. I always tend to play it safe. I might have taken the tires just that way. I knew I was on some clean rubber, but I gotta respect not taking tires for the simple fact of all the positions they were able to jump in pit road.
Man, you got to think we've got Cole right here. Cole is going to be your overall leader right now in the Pro Sport and on track. Very interested to see how all of this is going to shake out. Now, we've got Alex falling to the back of the line.
I bet he got an end-of-line penalty for taking tires before the 15-minute mark, John.
That's quite possible. So it looks like Alex is going to be working his way from the back of this field. So another interesting storyline, Tyler, to see what's going to happen for the remainder of this race. So we've got Alex going back to the back. He was your early leader, got into that accident, wrecking, going up the hill, took tires, and now he's at the back. We've got Perchowski getting into an early wreck. So those 2 pro drivers having some difficulties. And we had Michael Hickman getting into a wreck early on. But look at this. He is already back up to 2nd position here in the pro division.
Yeah, I see that. He's made his way substantially back up the field through these cautions we've had. Maybe we're going to see a turn of luck here for Hickman.
In the AM division, you've got Mulberry. He is going to be 3rd on your field, in the field right now, but he is going to be 1st in that AM division with Carson running in 2nd. Now, there's quite a few drivers between Jonathan and Carson, so we'll see what happens. As a matter of fact, the interval right now is already 4.5 seconds as they are nose to tail in single file going around under caution.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got a pretty healthy lead right now and plenty of traffic between him and second place.
So he is going to be begging for this thing to stay green as fireworks early on at Spa. And you know that Ernie is going to want to get around this driver right here. And Cole is going to lead them out again. He's going to be all the way here to the inside wall. I guess you would call that the outside wall.
Away we go into T1. Here comes Ernie going up the inside of Cole. And it looks like Hickman might be trying to come up there too.
Side by side they go. They are looking three. They're not. They're going to stack up 2 by 2. They're going to come down. And again, this is where the melee starts. Ernie Francis Jr., now your leader, going to start working his way up this hill.
Looks like we're going to stay single file for here and reduce the chaos that we saw those first 2 starts.
We are now fanning out, though, Tylers. They are 2 by 2. It looks like we've got Odell trying to get through, and he's going to get cut off and spun. Around goes Kurt.
They tried to cram it 3 wide there into Lacombe, and it was not going to happen.
We'll go back and take a look at that now. Ernie Francis Jr. is out front. He's got about a second gap on Cole, but he's got about 2 seconds on Odell, as now the fight is still on here as Ben Lawrence is trying to work his way back through the field.
Ben showing that speed back in the BMW. Looks like he's going to show the inside there, but tuck back in as we come around the double gauche. Oh no, we got a car wide sliding here. Looks like he's going to take it all the way around.
Wow, no harm, no foul there, as it looked like you saw him get sideways going into that turn. A little overcorrection right in the apex. He's going to spin that thing out. That's Mulberry. He's going to be back on track as it looks like we continue to have fights all over as Lawrence on the back end of Trexler now trying to get yet another position.
That's right, John. I think we might have cursed Mulberry yet again. Another case of the commentator's curse.
We are really good at that.
We got to stop talking about these guys. Every person we talk about loses it. See if Ben can tuck in here and maybe make a move going into the final bus stop.
Yeah, and you can really tell Ben does not have a whole lot of patience right now. It looks like Grayson just getting crossed up. How did he save that car?
I don't know, but that was insane. He got a little wide on braking, lost it, tank slapped it in, and brought it back out the other side.
Moskowitz now, he is driving his way up. As you can see, all of the headlights flashing coming down these straightaways. That's when the one car tells the other car, I think I'm faster than you. If you'd let me go, I'd really appreciate it.
Cole holding his own here in second overall from the pro sport class. He does have, I can't tell who that is in the dark, John, coming up behind him.
Odell. Looks like Odell is trying to get around Cole. Now, Cole, we saw, had about a 4.5 second lead over Grayson. That's now down to about 3.5 seconds. So even in traffic, he is definitely working his way back forward as Ernie Francis not getting away from these 2 drivers at all. And, you know, Ernie wants to see Cole hold Odell off as long as he can, but man, it just looks like Ernie is not able to quite pull away like what he needs to cut the draft off of these 2 drivers.
Yeah, it looks like Cole's going to move over there and let Odell by. Definitely not what Ernie wanted to see, as Odell's got a free track up to the back of Ernie. Let's see what Odell can do here. Maybe he can put a couple heaters down and get right on the rear bumper of Ernie.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, this driver, we saw him a little bit earlier leading this thing. That is Alex. Alex going all the way to the back, Tyler, just in a few short green flag laps. He is all the way up to 8th on the field now.
Honestly, that's impressive, John, to be able to make his way all the way up like that in just 2 laps.
That is insane, as now it looks like Grayson with a little bit of front end damage on that car. But he is holding his own now, 5th on the field. second in his division as he is going to try to hunt down Cole. Now, what was about 3.5 seconds before, now almost 4 seconds. So it does look like Cole is starting to pull away from Grayson, and Grayson has a mirror full of Patrick Rich.
That's right. Patrick is giving Grayson everything he can handle right now. Let's see if Grayson can shake him or if he's going to lose the position here.
All right, now Alex getting by Wade Moskowitz, just one more position up now. He is already up to 7th on the field, but I will tell you, there is a battle looming here, Tyler, and that is going to be for the first position as Odell is running down Ernie Francis.
That's right. He's definitely starting to close that gap in. He's all the way down to 0.8 of a second now as we go into Lacombe.
Yeah, he did go purple last lap, so that is the fastest lap out on the track, and that is Odell there in second position at a 16.674. So he certainly is turning on the jets right now to try to run down Ernie. Now, Ernie is putting some pace down. He turned to 16.880 all on his own last lap, so he is not without pace as well, as these two are about to tie up here. Only 0.8 are going to separate these two drivers.
Yeah, I look for Ernie to wick it up once Odell gets to the back of him. He's not going to give that first place up without a fight, that's for sure.
No, we do not have a pit stop that is going to happen in between those two drivers, so that will be a battle that he will wage on. He does not want to get passed by Odell, as it now looks like Patrick Rich trying to take the outside. Man, that would have been just a power move there, Tyler.
Yeah, he's giving Grayson everything he can handle right now with that Porsche. Inside, outside, he's showing both ways, trying to unsettle him here.
Yeah, and that looks like what has happened to Michael Hickman. Michael Hickman has now jumped to the pits, folks. Let's see what happened. We show him as an off track. Oh, just get side by side there. Just jumps to the pits.
There wasn't a lot in that. Yeah, there wasn't a lot in that. They went wheel to wheel as he was trying to go around the outside. He's calling it there.
I think he's just had enough of the battle, but I will tell you, there are about 5 cars that are under a blanket right now. Leading this group is going to be Grayson right there in that Porsche. That is Patrick Rich. He is your leader in that AM division. Behind him is going to be Bahari. Now, Alex shooting down underneath. He doesn't want to waste any time with these two drivers. He wants to get past them so that he can continue to run down these Pro Division drivers. But behind Alex now is going to be Wade, and behind him is Alexi.
Everyone making it good. Ready on fine there. Let's see what Alexi has here for Wade. See if he's going to tuck in and try to get some draft down this long straightaway into Lacombe. So we look like Alex is going to show the outside and try to dive back inside, and right there we go.
Oh, and he's going to loop it.
They touch and around they go. Keeps it straight there, avoided action in the back. And just like that, we thought he was going to make a push, and around he went.
I feel like, Tyler, that is one of those moments. And now he's going to be... He's going to get a little bump in the back, and he's going to go around. That's going to be Rory. Oh, man, we are just going crazy all over the track, and I just felt like a little bit before, Tyler, that was a kind of a moment where, you know, Alex doesn't have a whole lot of patience now. He knows he's got to go. He knows he has some fast drivers out in front. He's trying to get by, maybe not the best place to pass there, and just really cooked that car getting into the outside there on that turn and just looping it around.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, that can be a passing spot. I think he tried to get a little too aggressive too quick, and like you said, just unsettled the car enough. As we go back out front here, Odell is slowly pulling up even closer to the back of Ernie Francis. The lead here from Ernie's down to about 0.4 of a second. He is full rear view mirror in that Lamborghini, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're going to see what Ernie has, because it looks like every single lap, Odell has gotten a little quicker and a little quicker. He went purple at a 16.280. Now we've got some more crashes out here on the track. We're going to hop back real quick while this thing stays hot and take a look at Jeff Perchowski. And man, they are just all knotted up here.
Yeah, this is a battle, that's for sure. Let's see what happens here with Jeff. Oh, he just goes into the pits.
Man, he did just tuck right into the pits, but what has happened to some of these other drivers? It looks like maybe they were stopping to avoid it. I don't know what happened. We saw somebody sliding off track.
Oh, that was Trexler off track, and as he comes back on, Kurt goes right into the side of him.
Goodness gracious.
Trexler around off the front of Wade, backs off the track, and as he goes to pull back out, Kurt just comes out wide, and there's nowhere for him to go.
Man, we got to back this up just a little bit, Tyler. Just looks like maybe Trexler pulling down into traffic a little bit too soon right there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a little too soon there. I think a little more patience, and that doesn't happen.
All right, so let's get back up here to some racing. As now you can see these two are now knotted up. This is the battle for that Pro Division lead and the overall lead, as now Odell is all over the back end of Ernie Francis Jr. This race is now underway, folks. This is going to be some high-spirited action. Ernie does not want to give this up. You're a multi-race leader of last season, coming back after a couple of weeks off in the beginning, now wanting to flex some muscle here in this Lamborghini, and he is trying to hold back your two-race winner of this season, Odell.
Yeah, these two are going to go at it. I'm really interested to see how this plays out.
We're going to go on board here. This is on board with Odell. You see that Lamborghini, just a lot of muscle down these straightaways.
Good exit for Ernie there out of T1.
Yeah, it does look like there is a lot of straightaway speed with Ernie.
As we come out of Radion, see if Odell gets a little bit of draft here. Ernie's going to dive to the inside a little bit to try and break it, the draft and defend.
Ernie is just looks like he's fast everywhere that he needs to be right now to keep him behind. And we're going to play some air games just like you talked about. You know, Ernie taking that dip down to the right. He's not only blocking that inside line, but he's also blocking the air. He doesn't want Odell to sit back into this draft. But my goodness, it looks like Odell really taking these sharper turns very, very well, but just a lot of speed in that Lamborghini.
Yeah, the Lamborghini seems to have more straight line speed, that's for sure.
All right, as this battle is going on, Tyler, we had your driver, your leader in that AM division crashing. Let's go back and take a look real quick if we can. Looks like he's out here solo. He's just going to tuck into the pits.
Yeah, a little system glitch there. It keeps showing crashes when all they're doing is going into the pits.
Yeah, I think it's because they're slowing down to a certain level. Oh, and now it looks like maybe taking a look over here to the left-hand side.
He's going to defend. Odell sends it into the outside that turns into the inside. No, he tries to cross him back up here. See who gets a run out of the corner.
I feel like that Ernie will give him that almost every time, but you've got to watch for that cutback, as it looks like Odell is now starting to poke around to try to find places to pass. But I got to tell you, as all of that is happening, behind them, Ben Lawrence is starting to come into the picture. Now only about 4 seconds are going to separate them. You can see his headlights there. As these two were fighting, he was about half a second faster than both of these drivers last lap.
these two keep going at it. See if he can pull back up here and make this a three-way battle for the lead. As we're about halfway through this one, John.
Yeah, and you could just really see Odell racing nice and clean. He is trying to find some ways around. He might have it here on the right-hand side. Now it looks like Ernie's going to cut him off. He's going to slam the door on him and stay in front, but it looks like Odell really starting to search out some lines to try to get around Ernie, maybe pulling out Tyler to kind of shake him, let him know that he's there. Let him know that, you know, hey, I will run this thing in a different line if I need to. But just like you said, it was 4 seconds, now 3.5 back to Ben as he continues to close in.
Yeah, Odell's definitely searching over the track, see if he can find any better lines. So far, it's not really working out. He's more or less just showing Ernie a nose, let him know he's still there, but not a lot of ground being made as far as getting around him.
No, we're going to see what he's going to do here going into that last turn, because it looked like he looked left, and Ernie's going to give him that. He's going to give him that outside on that quick cutback every time, as it does look like that Corvette now is inching forward again. So we're going to see how this is going to happen, and maybe just sitting back and cooling the tires off on the back end of this lap. But he is all over Francis again, now 3.5 seconds back to Lawrence.
We might just be watching the long game here. He might hang out and see how long he can just ride behind Ernie before he gets rattled. I don't know that Ernie's going to be easily rattled. We're going to find out.
I don't either. Patrick Rich now coming back from going down pit lane, trying to make some passes here. He's going to take kind of a wider entry. He's going to get that passed on. See if we can stay up front here as this battle's still waging on, as now Odell definitely within striking distance of Ernie.
Yeah, Ernie's going to go to the inside, protect, make Odell go the long way around the outside as we go too wide into Lacombe.
They're going to do a little door banging now. It looks like Ernie's going to hang out to the right-hand side. Now it's going to be another right-hander coming up. But Odell has held tough to that outside, and he's still going to hang tough. Man, just not quite able to get that pass done, Tyler.
No, you love to see that too wide racing, though, that's for sure. Interesting, Odell played the smart move there, letting Ernie go back in front of him, follow him through here until we get to another part of the track where he thinks he might have a better option to pass. Meanwhile, Ben a little bit closer, 3.2 now.
Yeah, he picked up about 3/10 as they were battling side by side. Now, with their nose to tail, it does look like they extend that lead out, but I got to tell you, it was really a nicely manufactured side-by-side race there by Odell, taking that outside. Now he's going to get off track there, but by taking that outside line, because 2 turns down, it set himself up for an inside turn, and that was his best shot that we have seen him make so far as he continues to search around. Now, there's plenty of time left. You got, what, 25 minutes to go. Odell still does not need to be in a hurry to get this passed on.
No, he definitely does not. There's plenty of time left here in the race. He's definitely showing the pace to keep Ernie on it the rest of the way through. I'm curious to see what happens as we start to catch lap traffic here. If they're going to hop right out of the way and let these two continue their battle, or if they come into play at all.
This is your closest battle out here on the track. The next, just position to position, is going to be Houston and Zachary Garrison. They're getting close to each other. But right now, this first and second position, the fantastic race here by Ernie Francis Jr. and Michael Odell, is now you've got Ben Lawrence is kind of banging on the back door. But as you can see, just like we talked about, Tyler, when they get nose to tail here, they're able to put some space between them and Lawrence.
Yeah, they really are. Every time they draft each other down these long straightaways, they just inch away from Ben a little bit. As Odell dives up the inside here, we're going to see too wide into Lacombe again. Oh, he backed out at the last minute.
But it looked like he really had that right side. He had that inside line going in. Now, it did look like Ernie was going to squeeze him no matter what was going to happen if Odell stayed there. But Odell deciding to back out and try something different. It was a really nice move there, shooting out at that last second, but not quite able to get it done yet. But again, just like we thought, he has been very patient sitting back trying to find a way around. But you can't show all of your moves to Ernie because Ernie is learning just like Odell is learning. So is Ernie.
Yeah, so far we've only seen him attempt to pass there twice in the same spot. He's got to have another spot here on track that he's keeping at bay until he absolutely has to pull it out.
Yeah, you definitely want to just stay silent on that pass that you think that you can make as he is continuing to size him up. It does look like he is inching closer and closer to the entry of these turns to Ernie, and that's what he's going to need to do is maybe make a last second kind of push to an inside to get those passes done. And it looks like he's inching ever so close now as they try to navigate around this lap traffic.
Yeah, it looks like as they got up on the back of Grayson Trexler there, he did just kind of pull over to the side, which is what you want to see. No interference with the front battle here. As I take a look here at the board, it looks like Ben's back down to about 2.8 behind these guys, so we might get to see Ben pull up on the back here. It's still a little too early to tell.
Yeah, right now the fastest pro driver on the track is going to be Alex. Alex is sitting back there in fourth position. Looks like he turned last lap he turned an 8:32. Now Cole showing he has crashed. I believe he has went into the pits though. You can see on that right-hand side he has went in. So a lot of these drivers choosing to come down and get pit service done as this battle up front still hot. Now it looks like, see, this is where Ernie has learned that he does not want to give up that inside. Is now Odell going to shoot to the outside again?
Yeah, Odell popped out a draft there, and Ernie drifted just a little bit to the left to squeeze him and say, hey, I know you're out there.
Man, what a great battle by these two drivers. As you can see, Odell really working through that uphill. When he gets up to the top of that hill, it looks like to me, Tyler, that's when he wants to start picking his line. But just like we talked about before, he needs to have another pass in him somewhere where he's got Ernie concerned about that section of the track while he's setting up a pass at a different section.
That's what I would think. I'd like to think he's playing chess. Hopefully that's not the only spot on the track that he's going to try this. Hopefully he hasn't laid all his cards out on the table for Ernie to see.
Yeah, now it is going to start getting down to it, though. We are now 45 minutes into this 65-minute race. So there is 20 minutes to go, and you've got to think that Odell is probably sitting back. He's been patient, tried a couple of spots. Now I think he's going to be starting to be a little bit more impatient as he's going to want to get this pass done. No pressure out back as that lead back up to 3.2 to Ben Lawrence. So it does look like these two drivers, even battling, are the two faster pro drivers out here right now. All right, we're going to go back up here.
AM division.
Yep, nice battle going on right here too, Tyler.
Yeah, Zachary Garrison's got a 0.4 of a second lead over Carson Rowland as we come down towards the final chicane. Good to see Garrison up in the lead after having that incident on the second restart.
Yeah, it's a fantastic bounce back by him as you got another driver there. It looks like Carson is going to shoot down pit road, so that is going to kill that battle. As now, here we go. There has to be something here. Is Odell is going to look out to the outside again. Now, he has done this before. Oh, they're going to touch.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Ernie started squeezing him.
Oh, and they're going to push off of the track, and they're still going to be side by side going into this right-hander.
Ernie's got the inside down here, and it looks like he's going to hold on. Wow, Ernie holding tough there with the lead. He is not ready to give that up.
This is going to be a battle for the ages as both of these drivers, you might think this is dirty. This is definitely not dirty. This is two drivers putting their cars on the very edge, trying to find their way around. Nobody wants to give this up. They are door banging. They're off into the gravel, trying to stay in front of Odell. Oh, and it looks like it's going to be super tight. Now, Odell's going to be on the outside. It looks like Ernie's just, man, he has to be inches Tyler, just inches from clearing himself on the front end there of Odell's car.
Yeah, that definitely looked really close. Ernie has got the elbows out, the eyes on the mirror. He's making that Lamborghini as wide as he possibly can. And honestly, it's been impressive the way he's defended this. You know, last season we didn't see a lot of Ernie being ultra defensive, as he kind of had his way with a fair amount of the races, but there's the defensive side to Ernie that we're finally getting to see, and I like it.
Oh, yeah, he is really having to drive this car, and I will tell you, both of these drivers are learning a ton about themselves, and they are growing as drivers right now. As you can see now, Ernie staying in front of Odell. Odell really clean, really patient here on the back end of Ernie. Now, that did allow Ben to get within 2 seconds, a little bit below 2 seconds at 1.9, but we are going to go through this uphill one more time, and we're going to see what Odell is going to try to do. I believe he thinks this is his spot on the track where he can get this passed on.
Yeah, we were talking about whether or not he was going to have another spot that he was going to try, but I think you're right, John. I think he's showing all his cards. I think this is the spot that he wants to get this one done.
Now, what is Francis going to do? Is he going to block inside? He is. Is he going to try to take away the outside? And what he's doing by making a little door touch there is he was kind of killing that draft that last lap and try to get that slingshot. Now they're going to go side by side. Odell, not quite the same momentum that he had the lap before. He's going to have to fall back in line quickly.
No, when Odell popped to the outside there, Ernie drifted just a little bit to squeeze him off and take some of that track away, and it made Odell have a second thought there, I think. He backed out at the last minute.
Oh, Ernie's going to go wide, and he's going to have to swing back in front of Odell as he is going to get that done. It looked like maybe going wide might have hurt him. Now 1.9 back to Ben. You can start to see those headlights getting ever so closer to these two drivers. If they get into another side-by-side, you're going to have a three-way battle here as we are nearing 15 minutes left to go in this race.
Tell you what, if they keep this up and Ben catches up, I'm going to be licking my chops for this battle we're about to have.
And you know Ben will be ultra aggressive if he gets here. And now you can see Odell really pushing that car. He's getting that right side tires off into the gravel. As now it looks like Ernie's going to do the same thing.
It looks like the front three there all coming wide coming out. They're using every millimeter of track they have to squeeze as much speed as they can down into the chicane.
Nose to tail they go as they're going to come through and get yet another lap done. Odell extremely close. He's going to take a look to the outside here. He is on that left side.
And like we talked about earlier, you know, that's where Ernie's going to give it to him. Let him have the outside.
You could just
lap in the books, and Ben is down to 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, and you can really tell he has thrown it in there now. It looked like Odell had a great exit of that turn, and he certainly did. Now, this is going to be probably his best shot, as if he can get through this uphill nice and clean like he has, he is going to have a ton of momentum right here. We're going to see what he can do, as he has not been this close yet this race.
We got a great run out of Ratty on there as we go down to Lacombe. Let's see what he does here at the outside. Ernie protective of the inside, as you would expect. Door to door. And Adele backs out again as we come in there. You know, I think the two door-to-door incidents we had there, I think it might have them a little hesitant. You know, they got away with it once. They got away with it twice. You know what they say, John? The third time's the charm. I don't know that they'll get away with door-to-door a third time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I do think that Ernie has learned a little bit. I saw, him really start to wiggle under braking, so he's really driving that car in there hard. I believe he's learned a little bit about this Lamborghini as they go side by side there. He's braking so hard and so late. It doesn't look like Odell is able to hang on to that outside to get that run. He is going to have to do this on the inside at some point, but it looks like Ernie has weathered a lot of that storm, and it seems to me like Odell is going to have to try to figure out another spot on this track to make this pass.
You might be right. I don't know where else he's going to try, though. Maybe the final chicane. I haven't seen really any other spots on the track that he has that momentum as he does when he goes into Lacombe. We've seen him try going into the final chicane. We've seen him try a little bit coming out of the double. Gosh, John, I don't know where he's going to try to do this at. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, he is close right now, so we're going to see what's going to happen. Now he's going to shoot down to the right-hand side. What a fantastic move. Now he's going to get this pass done. Oh, and it looks like Ernie's going to tuck down pit lane.
I wonder if Ernie didn't take enough fuel earlier or if he wants tires. I'm not sure why he's diving into the pits. So we saw him in early.
Let's see what happens here, Tyler. Let's see if he's going to get tires. But one thing for sure, fantastic move by Odell, getting that thing done. He is getting fuel only and having to come out. Now, we are about 10 minutes left to go. Zach Garrison, your leader there in that AM division, he is coming down pit lane too. We saw a lot of these drivers coming down pit lane. So it looks like he took that opportunity when he got passed for the lead to shoot down pit road and fill that tank back up. Does your driver in the #1 position, Odell, getting that pass done, does he need to come down pit lane?
I'm not sure. We'll have to see. That was definitely a great pass, though. You know, he showed the outside like he had been all race long, and at the last second, cut to the inside and left Ernie no choice but to be left to dry out there on the outside.
That really was a good move, and we had talked about it so many times. It was an unexpected move. We thought that that's what it was going to take for Odell to get around, was just something unexpected, and he certainly did that. Fantastic job and great pass, forcing Ernie to go ahead and get down pit road. Now the goal is going to be for Odell. I'm going to run this thing dry so that I have less time on pit road, but I also need to turn some fantastic lap times because I'm going to have to come out and I want to be able to beat Ernie off of pit road.
Yeah. He's also going to keep that BMW of Ben Lawrence at bay back there in second.
Yeah, it does look like Ben has started to lose a bit of time. It was about 1.4, 1.5 seconds, now about 2.1. So we're going to see what's going to happen on lap times as we come around. Looks like Ernie has come back out into 4th position. Odell staying out on the track, as is Lawrence.
Odell was about 9/10 of a second faster there as Alex dives into the pit lane there in 3rd.
Yeah, I do believe that everybody's going to have to come down and get another pit stop completed. As you saw, like you said, about a 16.3. And we'll see what happens to Ernie as we're going to go back and take a look at some additional races out here on the track. And it looks like Cole all over the back end here of Jeff.
Like Jeff's recovered after those incidents there at the beginning of the race. Let's see if he can drive a wide car, get those elbows out, if he's going to hold Cole back or if Cole's going to put on a charge and take this position over.
Yeah, now Cole, it looks like, is about 13 seconds behind Houston for that 2nd position. So neither one of these drivers with a whole lot to gain and or lose because it looks like Perchowski is probably 10.5 seconds off of Alex. Now, Alex is already out of pit lane.
Tower here, John. There's not a lot of action going on other than Jeff and...
Yeah, it does look like now, it looks like Alexi's going to go by, and it looks like maybe Mulberry has a damaged vehicle at this point. And this battle here is going to wage on now. Cole, really impressive in this race, still on the back end of Jeff. And it just looks like Jeff maybe a little bit out of sync at this track. You know, had a pretty solid qualifying run, but again, just, you know, lots of melee in T1, lap one, knocking the front end off of that car. It just doesn't seem like he's been able to really get back up and push to pick up some positions in this pro division.
No, and it's hard to regain. Oh, we got 3 diving into pit road here. What do we got? We got Odell, Lawrence.
Yeah, and Michael Peak. So here is your first and second drivers in that pro division. They are coming down. Where is Ernie?
In the pro sport divisions coming down too with the lead. Ernie coming out of the final corner.
Odell now out. And here we go. The race is going to be on yet again. And it does look like Ernie's going to squeeze out in front of Odell one more time. So we are now going to have another battle for your lead as Ernie able to get on and off of pit road just a bit quicker than what Odell was able to do. And that puts Odell back to having to find a way around this driver.
We'll see if Odell's going to make me eat my words again. I thought Lacombe was really the place he was going to do it, and he proved me wrong, overtaking Ernie going into the final chicane. See if he has another rabbit in a hat to pull out, or if those are the only 2 spots as Ernie goes wide on exit there.
Yeah, Ernie, about 6/10 is going to separate these 2 drivers, but it's going to be pretty tight here very, very soon, as we felt like Odell had a little bit more pace than what Ernie did. But, you know, when we've got about 7 seconds to go, that's just a handful of laps that Ernie is going to once again be out in front and fighting to take this victory away from Odell.
Yeah, that's right. 7 minutes on the clock to go, and the elbows are going to be out again as Odell tries to pull back up to the back of Ernie. As we hop back here to Patrick Rich, all over the back of Zachary Garrison for the lead in the AM division.
Yeah, half a second is going to separate these 2 drivers. This, again, is after all of the pit stops are pretty much completed. When we did not have any fights and battles going on, we now have them all over the track. 4/10 is going to separate Rich and Garrison now. Again, this is for your lead here in the AM division, as now that's going to be a little bit bigger gap as we're going to go right back up here, because only 2/10 are going to separate Odell and Ernie, as Odell looks like he does not want to waste any time now.
No, he tried to go to the inside there. Ernie didn't let him have it. He tried to switch back here in the final corner. It doesn't look like it's going to work, but Odell's going to be all over the back of Ernie at the end of the lap here. Going down into T1, as it looks like Ernie's going to hold the inside in defense. Odell's going to swing way out wide. He's going to try to cross him over here. It looks like he's going to try. He's going to try, but he did not get the drive out of the corner there as we head back down to a Rouge.
Now, it does look like Odell has a pocket full of confidence right now. He does not want to sit back around and behind Ernie. And we're going to see this yet again. Now he's going to go to the left, already poking out. Great run. And it looks like now they are going to get close to each other. It looks like Ernie's trying to pull him back. They're going to almost touch going down the straightaway.
Odell's not going to back out. They're going to be too wide coming out of the second half of Lacombe into Malmedy. Ernie's going to hold strong there. I'm a little surprised that they went door to door through Lacombe again.
Man, I will tell you, I have not seen a Lamborghini turn that quick as he did right there, as Ernie did, getting that car to hop back out in front of Odell. Now, Odell, again, I just feel like he doesn't want to waste any time. He's being uber aggressive now to the left-hand side. He's going to tuck right back in line, but it looks like 1.9 Ben Lawrence behind them. So he is still close within striking distance. These 2 drivers, now just a few laps left. They're averaging a little over 2 minutes a lap, and we only have 5 minutes to go. So I would think we're only going to get about 3 laps more of racing in before this thing is finished.
Yeah, you're right. Odell being uber aggressive here, though. I'm not surprised. He's going to have the confidence. He knows he's gotten around Ernie once. He knows he can do it again, but where is he going to do it? That's the question.
Is he going to try the same move again where he just kind of slung to the outside and ducked back in? No, he's going to stay over to the left with another fantastic run. And man, it just looks like he has got a ton of speed. Now we know that Lamborghini can get down the straightaway, and he is going to get down the straightaway. He's going to stay to the right-hand side, have that inside line going through the chicane.
He's going to be able to get in front of Odell there and cut him off coming out of the final chicane. Man, Odell had a good run there, and Ernie was able to fend him off once again.
Man, I will tell you, probably 2 laps left, as now it looks like John Houston has gotten himself a black flag. He's going to have to come down pit road, but now you see about 1.3 seconds is Lawrence back to these 2 drivers. So he is within striking distance, and now Odell probably wants to start looking in his rear view if he tries this again, but maybe cooling the tires off, Tyler, and try to make one more push here at Ernie.
This is the first time we've seen him come down the long straight into Lacombe, not all over each other. So Ernie's gonna have a little breathing room this time. Not much, but a little. As he sizes him up a little bit more here.
Yeah, about half a car is going to separate these 2 drivers, and just like you said, Ernie has just a bit of breathing room to Odell, and that could be dangerous as Odell now getting tighter and tighter, ever so closer to the back end of this orange Lamborghini, as now we are probably going to get the 1 to go when we come through here. Now it looks like Odell is off in the grass there on the right-hand side. That's going to slow him down. Now a car length is going to separate your first and second drivers.
This one's going to come down to the wire, that's for sure. As Odell's looking to the outside again. Ernie slides across the front of him to squeeze him. Let's see if Odell gets another good run here out of this back section in the long straightaway into the final chicane. He got a good run last lap, and we really saw a tooth and nail battle into the final chicane. So let's see if he gets a good run here.
Now looks like 2 car lengths are going to separate those 2. As Odell now is going to get the left side off into the gravel. That's going to give Ernie some breathing room. Now 3 car lengths are going to separate them, as it looks like Lawrence is very strong here on the back end of this part of the track, and he's going to close in just a little bit more. Now 1.3, as Ernie is going to have a clear chicane here. And you can see that flag flying right there by the flagman. That is the white flag. We have 1 more lap. This is the tightest battle that we have seen so far this season. Round 4. This is the track these drivers wanted. They wanted it here at night, and here you go, Ernie Francis Jr. trying to hold back, I believe, a little bit quicker Odell. Odell trying to find a way around him. Only a handful of turns to go here, Tyler.
Yeah. Odell's definitely shown the speed, and I think you're right, John. I think he has a tick more speed than Ernie does, but hats off to Ernie. He's defended well all the way up until this point of the race. He's going to hold the inside here. Odell's going to hop out of the draft, try to take the outside, and he's going to come over and squeeze him onto the rumble strips. And he's able to get in there before Odell.
Yeah, he's just really outbraking. I just feel like, when Odell pulled side by side with him, he learned how to really get off into that turn and brake extremely well. Now 2 car lengths are going to separate those. Both of these drivers really showing a ton of class here, especially it seems like to me Odell staying very patient, not a lot of contact between these 2 drivers, but I can tell you, Odell has something up his sleeve. He is not going to go quietly into this night. Now 4 car lengths are going to separate these 2 drivers.
I think it's really going to come down to the final chicane where we saw Odell make that pass earlier. As Ben still hanging on there in 3rd. Just hoping the fireworks happen and maybe he can sneak out a last corner pass here.
Oh, and it looks like now Ernie is hanging it out. He's got the right sides off in the gravel. He does not want Odell to get close, but he is right there. He is going to be able to make some sort of move coming around to this last chicane. Now 3 car lengths are going to separate these 2 drivers.
Here he comes, down for all the marbles.
Here it goes, folks. The very last set of turns here in this race. Odell's going to go to the outside. I don't believe he's going to be able to get this done. If Ernie can hang on, he is going to pick up one hell of a win here at Spa. Fantastic drive by these 2 drivers. Ernie Francis out-dueling Michael Odell What a great drive. Ben Lawrence is going to finish in third. Wade Moskowitz is going to come around, not to take away from that fantastic battle up front, but he is going to come around here and pick up his first win with USRA in this pro sport division.
It's a good win for Wade.
And now your leader, Zachary Garrison, in that AM division, he is going to come around and he is going to pick up a win.
From in the wall to top of the box, John.
What a great job by Zach. Can't wait to have a conversation with him. But my goodness, I hope sometimes it is great to get out there and drive these cars. And then there are other times it is great to be right here in the booth and watch one heck of a race. And we definitely did that by Odell and Francis.
Yeah, they definitely gave us, so far, the race of the season. The last 20-some minutes of that, back and forth, all over each other, passes, pit stops, and Ernie Francis Jr. able to hold on and take the win here.
Man, I cannot tell you all what I feel like is the more impressive. Is it the ability for Ernie to hang to keep Odell back, or was it Odell really keeping his patience? But man, I will tell you, that is some very respectful two-way racing by these two drivers. You know, Odell, being the driver behind the other driver, can run out of patience and do something crazy. Really held his cool and just put on a heck of a show for us tonight.
Yeah, he certainly did. It's really easy in Odell's position to get frustrated without being able to make the pass, and then to start making mistakes, and one mistake cascades into another, and before you know it, you're 4, 5, 6 seconds behind the car in front. But like you mentioned, also great of Ernie to keep those elbows out, drive a wide car, and not let him pass.
Man, that was a fantastic job by both of these drivers, and it does look like we have Mr. Moskowitz out here. He is going to be one of your winners, and let's see if we can pull him in, your winner in that pro sport division, and have a conversation with him. Wade, this is John and Tyler in the booth. You got a copy?
I do have a copy, John. How's it going?
Well, man, we talked about you a little bit before this race went green, and we talked about how quick we felt like you had gotten and the great runs you had, but some bad luck so far this season. No bad luck tonight, being able to bring home a victory. Congratulations. Walk us through your night.
Hey, man. Yeah, so, yeah, like you said, man, it's been a struggle. Just a little bit of bad luck on the previous races, but tonight, there was a little bit of luck on my side, I have to say, because I feel like Trexler and I were battling pretty well. And unfortunately, with Alex kind of coming up on the rear, I just got a little scared on the last chicane there, and kind of like trying to manage him behind me and Trexler in front of me. Unfortunately, I spun Trexler out, and he had to go pits and everything like that. And I feel like we would have had an awesome battle, because I was watching the time delta between us when he came back out, and it was him and I were on par, man. So it's a little sad that we didn't get to battle to the very end there, but overall, man, the car just felt really well. I've been practicing with Ben for the Petite Le Mans, and he kind of walked me through like getting on the throttle a little bit sooner. So started trying to implement that here, and it just kind of paid off. It paid dividends of shaving tenths off where I needed it to kind of maintain pace.
Well, you definitely did that, my friend, and a fantastic job bringing home a win. This is your first win at USRA in this pro sport division so far this season. This is really going to propel you up in the points. And like we talked about before, some fantastic runs already in the first three races of this season, but you were able to put it all together, bring home a victory tonight. Congratulations there. We'll turn it over to you, let you give you shout outs.
I appreciate it, man. Like I said, shout out to Ben, Miles, Trevor, um, mostly Ben for the track guidance, and just kind of walking me through the car's abilities, because I didn't know what the car was actually capable of up until that point. And then a big shout out to Trevor and Miles for just kind of putting on the USRA and having a space for us to come and enjoy a race in a safe space. And just show what we got out there. So I appreciate it. Thanks for broadcasting, John and Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we certainly appreciate it. And congratulations once again on picking up the win.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one, guys.
You too. All right, so there is Wade, and it does look like we've got Ernie, and I will pop him up here, Tyler, and I'll let you take over this interview if you would like here with Ernie. Ernie, this is John and Tyler in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Ernie, my boy, I don't know what to say. Take us through the last 20 minutes of that race with Odell all over your rear bumper.
That was probably the hardest I think I've worked in an iRacing race. I was really trying to do my best to keep him behind. I didn't take tires at all at any of the stops, so we were down pretty bad on front tires. So I just had a ton of understeer in the car. So I was just trying to get the car rotated, and I would just park it at every apex. And you could see how he would just close in on me at the apex, and I was just trying to get a good exit and hope that it's enough to keep him behind. That Corvette has a lot of straight line performance coming up the top of the hill, so it was just massive defense every lap. But yeah, it was fun. That was a great battle there. Tried to keep it as clean as possible. We were banging doors a few times, but I felt like we both gave each other a decent amount of racing room and kept it clean.
I would agree. You guys definitely had a hard, respectful race there, door banging aside. We noticed up here in the booth that you did not take tires either stop. Take us through what went into that decision making. Why not take the tires?
The initial start or the initial stop that we did, I think everybody thought that we would be clear on fuel to make it to the end. And we had only done like half a lap under green. So I figured might as well just keep my tires that I have. They're a little bit warm, and we'll just run it out to the end. When we had to make the other stop, I was trying to go long, and I wasn't taking a whole lot of fuel. It was only about a 5 or 6 gallon fill up there to make it to the end of the race. So taking tires would have probably taken more time than the fuel stop. So I was just trying to make as short of a stop as possible and just sacrifice the tires. Plus, I figured with uh, about 12 minutes left in the race when I would come out of the pit lane, the time loss that it would have of building up tire temp again on cold tires versus trying to just manage the older tires is pretty much a wash. So I figured I might as well just stick with what I know on the car and just run it out to the end.
How far out from pitting were you when Odell made the move and you instantly dove into the pits? That was a good strategic move by you, by the way.
I was 2 laps from being out of fuel there. So I was like in my window of when I wanted to pit, and my plan was pretty much as soon as he made a move that could possibly stick, I was just gonna dive into the pits. I just wanted to try to keep him behind as much as possible and kind of slow down his pace that he had before I made my pit stop. So once he got to my inside there, I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm just gonna commit and get into the pits right now.
Well, it worked out because you came out when he came out of the pits. You came out of the first corner there, and were right around the outside of him.
Yep, yeah, I was able to exit the pit lane right when he was I came around the first corner right when he was exiting, was able to clear him there, and then I knew it was just going to be a dogfight to the end. Yeah, it was a good battle. I think that was a lot of fun. He definitely had the pace this race. Hopefully, I can find some more pace for the rest of the season.
Yeah, good win for you, Ernie. Good race overall. John and I were up here losing our minds in the booth every time he popped out of the draft, and you were able to hold him off. So congrats. Turn it over to you. Give a shout out to whoever you want.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate it. Just got to give a shout out to my guys at Subpar. Subpar Motorsports didn't have the best race for the other guys in AM and Pro Sport this week, but they'll move on and get a better one next week. But just shout out to those guys, and happy to take home another win. In season 2 here for USRA, and hopefully it gets us a little bit closer to the championship fight, and see what we can do for the rest of the season. But thank you guys.
All right,
Great,
thanks, Ernie.
congrats to Ernie, and let's see if you can back it up next week with another one.
Yep, thank you.
All right, Tyler. So there you have it. And my goodness, I mean, I am still kind of just in amazement at how great both of these drivers were tonight, putting on one heck of a show, picking up that win. Ernie Francis Jr., Wade Moskowitz, Zach Garrison, all three. Congratulations to a great job by them tonight.
Yeah, that's right. That's hard. The stars of the show, though, out front, Ernie and Odell. Good race to both those guys, giving us everything we could handle for the last 25 minutes of that race.
Absolutely. And we are going to be back here that same time and this same place. We're going to bring you round 5. And after that, we are going to be halfway through already this season, as these things, once they get kicked off and they get rolling, man, they end pretty quickly. But I have a feeling, Tyler, we have a lot more racing and tight racing. If Alex does not spin that car, we might have a four-way battle up there. Ben's getting closer. I mean, we've got different drivers in the pro sport winning. We've got different drivers in the AM division. This is one heck of a season to be here and be tuned in.
That it is. We're halfway. We've already seen so many different winners. Let's see what the second half of the season has to offer starting next week.
You've got it. All right. So for me, for Tyler out here in the booth, we certainly appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe if you're not already subscribed, as we are going to bring you action as many nights a week as we possibly can. Tyler, certainly appreciate you being in the booth with me, and we'll talk again next week.
See ya.